community is fantastic. It's all of the knowledge that comes with it.
If someone reaches out saying, I need help, that is a sign to us that they want to continue to be better. Asking for help is a sign of strength. I need expertise and I need someone who has experience to get me through this so I can develop my own experience in this situation that I can apply moving forward.
You don't think that you did the best that you could. You realize that there is a community and everybody's going to have those days. They're back on their A game. So it gives you that little boost.
But when you show up, when you check in, even if it was a shitty week and you didn't do anything, showing up and checking in and saying, hey, I'm here is a sign to us that you want to be better.
The people that are successful are the ones that do what their coaches tell them to do. They don't argue with the coaching. They don't backtalk. They don't justify.
My circle matters. So I'm going to cut off the people that have that victim mindset because they mentally drain me.
Welcome to the Thought Leader Revolution with Nikki Ballou. Join the revolution. There's never been a better time in history to speak your truth, find your freedom, and make your fortune. Each week, we interview the world's top thought leaders and learn the secrets of how they built a 6 to 7 figure practice. This episode has been brought to you by eCircleacademy.com, the proven system to add 6 to 7 figures a year to your thought leader practice.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the podcast, The Thought Leader Revolution. I'm your host, Nikki Ballou. And boy, do we have a very special format for the show today. Normally we have one guest. Rarely we have two guests on the show, but today we've got a whole panel of guests. And this is the brainchild of myself and a previous guest, the one and only Lexie Ward. And the reason we put this together is because what we wanted to do was really tell some powerful stories of how amazing and exceptional thought leadership put into action can transform people's lives. So I'm excited to have all these ladies here with us. We're going to have them each introduce themselves one by one. Why don't we actually start with Lexie? Lexie, welcome. Why don't you introduce yourself, tell the story of why you agreed to do this, and let's go from there.
Thank you for having me back, Nikki. I got a lot of positive feedback from our previous conversation and very looking forward to hearing from our ladies. So who we have here, I only actually coach one of them. The other three work with some of our wonderful Lady the F Up coaches. As head coach of Lady the F Up, I do oversee everything. So I've seen the journey for these women behind the scenes over the past, I'm going to say at least a year. I'm pretty sure you guys have been here for quite some time now. And the fact that they are long-term Lady the F Up clients that are living and promoting this lifestyle, not just themselves, but they're inspiring so many other women. Other women have joined the program because of their experience and them inspiring others. And just really excited to hear their story. I've talked enough on this podcast.
Awesome. Okay, well, why don't we start with Lee Lerner. Lee, why don't you go next? Why don't you introduce yourself, tell us a bit about your story, what made you decide to take on your health and fitness, and let's go from there.
Okay, Nikki, thank you. Thank you for having me on with this wonderful panel of ladies. I joined Lady the F Up back in March. We are in 2024 and 2022. And as you know, we were coming out of the pandemic, and I have struggled with I've struggled with my weight my entire life. I am classic, I turned 58 this month.
Wow.
So I am of a generation, yes, that was all about restriction, was all about eating less, weighing less, being small, like many others, struggled with my confidence, my self-worth. I mean, we all have our own stories and our own journeys, but what brought me to Lady the F Up is my coach, Coach Mal, is actually my daughter's former gymnastics coach. So I know Malvina, and I had known her for years and years and years, and I was connected to her online, followed her, and all of a sudden I started seeing Lady the F-Up and these incredible transformations. And I have to be honest with you, I'm thinking to myself, I'm 56 years old. I've been sitting on my ass for the better part of 2 years during the course of the pandemic. And the other piece I was struggling with was I had a lot of joint pain and just pain and inflammation, and I was not feeling well. And I didn't even call Malvina. I had my daughter, my 23-year-old daughter, call Malvina and just say, what is this all about? And then, of course, I had a call with her. And I took the plunge. I have to be honest, I didn't really understand much. And I will tell you, at the beginning, first of all, I think like many women, I thought, well, 4 weeks, I should see some results, shouldn't I? 4 weeks, good. 8 weeks, by 8 weeks, what's happening? Still nothing. And of course, at the beginning, there is the truth. You get those newbie gains and they're wonderful. They don't happen now. But I slowly worked through a lot. I was very resistant. And over the course of 8 months, I saw my body change so dramatically, but it wasn't just that. So I had all the physical changes that many women want, certainly not where I want to be even now, today, because my whole mind set shifted, truthfully. I had a very, very poor relationship with food. I would tell you, I'm going to struggle with that all my life, but now I want food. Now I want to eat food. Now I know how to eat food. Now I know how to fuel my body. And it is true. Like, you do go through, I think it's more for me, what I am so indebted and grateful for is the mental and psychological change that I have. I am the heaviest right now that I've ever been, and I am fine because I know exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to build muscle, because I told you I'm 58 and I refuse to fall and break a hip. So I would just, say that my journey is not over. I just finished March, my first 60-day challenge. I became the leanest I think I've ever seen myself. And then I said, well, I know how to get lean. So now let's start the process of continuing to put muscle on. And I don't care what the scale says. I don't care what size my pants or anything I wear are. If I have to go and, don't worry, I have a whole closet of clothes. It's all very sized, so it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter. It is just, it's liberating. It's truly liberating. And it really is about the process and the journey. So that's my story. And I think what Coach Mal would say now is I am not resistant to anything, to be honest. She tells me what to do, and I just do it. And the results come.
That's a very powerful way that you just ended your introductory story, because inside the world of thought leadership, one of the things we say is that the people that are successful are the ones that do what their coaches tell them to do. They don't argue with the coaching. They don't backtalk. They don't justify. I got a little lesson in that today from Amber in the gym. I was talking in between sets and he said, hey, cut it out. And then afterwards he came, what are you doing? Why are you talking? And I said, look, man, it was just 30 seconds. He says, I don't want any back talk. I don't want any justifications. You're not where you need to be. You're either going to do what I tell you or you're not. What's it going to be? And I'm like, yeah, no, he's right. That's what I preach to people myself. So good on you that you get that and that you live that. Well done.
And one thing that Lee didn't share was that she inspires her children. There was a post that Mal shared a while ago of a group text where Lee sent a photo to her children, and it was like, "Mom, you're jacked. Look at your muscles." Like, she is in the best shape of her life now, and her children are looking up to her being like, wow, she's making a change. Age doesn't matter. And I think that's something that's really, really special.
Truly it is. Truly it is. Bravo. Bravo, Lee. So why don't we go next to Brittany?
Okay. Hello, I'm Brittany. I've been with Lady the F Up since May of 2022. So just past my 2-year anniversary. My coach is Coach Magda, and we worked together the entire time that I've been with Lady F Up. So my story is probably similar to a lot of moms out there. I had been following Lady F Up's Instagram page for some time, just kind of, following along and trying to get some inspiration from just following along. I actually called the hotline, or the information line, twice. I called once in February of 2022. Reema scared me, so I did. And so I wasn't ready. I shouldn't say she scared me. Like, I wasn't ready. And that was fair for me, but I think everyone's familiar with how Reema operates, which I loved. But at the time, I was not ready. So what my turning point for me was Mother's Day of 2022. As I mentioned earlier, I have twin boys. They're 4, so they were 2 at the time. And my husband took a picture of us at Mother's Day brunch, and a couple pictures throughout the day, and he sent them to me later on. I looked at them, and I was just a mess. I didn't like what I saw. I was tired of making excuses for my BS eating, my habits, my everything. So I called Reema again. This time I stuck through the conversation, and she matched me with Magda. And so I've been with her ever since. I've done one-on-one coaching with her. I did a challenge with her last year. She's changed my life. She guides me in and out. I'm 6 months pregnant with my 3rd child. And at the beginning, with morning sickness and all that, I really wanted to quit. And I wanted to put it on hold, or any option I had. And Magda wouldn't let me, which I appreciate, because now I'm 6 months pregnant. I have no pain. I sleep like a baby at night. I'm able to keep up with my preschoolers and do all the other things, as well as go to the gym. And I'm currently doing 4 days, 20 minutes steady state cardio on the Stairmaster, and I get regular looks as, what are you doing up there? 6 months pregnant. But the fact is that I can do it, so I'm going to do it. And I wouldn't have been able to achieve everything without Lady F Up, and I'm looking forward to my second postpartum journey with Magda by my side.
Amazing. Amazing. Fantastic. Thank you, Brittany. So why don't we go to Leslie?
Hi, my name is Leslie, and I have been a Lady the F Up client since September of 2022, I believe. And I was already working with a trainer and literally seeing no results as far as the scale, muscle building, leaning out. So I knew it was my nutrition. So I actually saw an ad for one of their challenges. And when I read the description, I decided, okay, I'm not ready for a challenge, but they also had a lifestyle list. So I booked a call with Reema, and she matched me with Mel. And I started, originally I was 8 weeks, and I think I was 4 days in, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go at least to 12. So then from 12, it's now been a year and a half. I've done 2 challenges, the best shape I've been in a long time. And I have no plans to stop. The community is fantastic, and it's all of the knowledge that comes with it that's been the best for me. And I have more energy than I've had in a long time. I know how to eat now. I know how to track now, and I know how to push myself. So it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me as far as working out and nutrition. Hands down the best. I've had coaches in the past where they kind of just give you calories and macros, and then they just leave you on your own. But they don't teach you what to do with the nutrients within those macros. So literally, if you could eat ice cream sandwiches all day as long as it fit in your macros, which is not ideal.
No.
So once, and people take that for granted. So once I got the guidance and I started eating properly is when I started to see the results. So it's been fantastic for me, and I will recommend them to everybody and anyone who asks me.
100%. They're fantastic. That's why I've decided to interview a lot of the coaches in the organization, and that's why I've decided to put this panel together. Wholeheartedly agree. Good stuff. Thank you, Leslie. And last but not least, Nicole, another Nick like myself.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for having me on this. This is really exciting, and it's really inspiring to hear everybody's story today. So I'm really honored to be on this. So I've been around a while. I started working with Lexie in September of 2020. So right at the height of the pandemic, I had actually reached out to Hammer Fitness in, I think it was the year before, 2019. I don't know, my dates are all confused now. And I'd seen them on Instagram, and I was like, I want to wear a sparkly bikini one day. I want to do competitions. I was also pretty close to the height of my weight. I was over 220 pounds. So since working with Lady the F Up the last 3.5, almost 4 years, like I've lost 100 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I look at pictures of myself and I go, who is that? I don't even recognize my old self anymore. But I reached out to Hammer Fitness, and they set me up with Lexie. And at the time, I was not ready. So I just said, thank you. That's great. All that information, I'll take it and sit on it for a whole year. And then pandemic, I realized, being home with, I have 3 kids. I was still in my job where I worked in the school system. So I was stuck at home trying to teach my kids school and help kids. I'm a therapist, so I was doing mental health counseling in the process, and realized sort of at the end of the summer that enough was enough and I needed to make a change. So that's when Lexie and I connected, and I was like, this time I'm really doing it. I said to my husband, I said, I don't care how much it costs. I don't care how long I have to do it. This is something that I need to do for me, and I've never done anything for myself in my entire life. So everybody's needs have always come first. So I might get emotional. Is that okay?
Of course.
Together, and when I told her that my goal was to get on stage, and so I think we were in 2021. So a year later, I had actually taken a little bit of a break. I had switched to running my own business. There was a lot of life changes going on at the time, and so I took a little bit of a 3-month hiatus, and then realized that wasn't working for me. And I recognized that I still didn't have enough of the tools and the skills to be able to do it on my own. So Lexie had sent a message that there was this transformation competition coming up in March of 2022. And, anyone who wants to go on it, message me. So I messaged her and I said, I'm back. Let's do this. So we went to work. That transformation competition in March got canceled. It was still COVID and all sorts of things going on. So we ended up, I ended up doing back-to-back transformation competitions in June of 2022. I did the RBT and the radical body transformation and the WCBB. And so we've been working together, and there was still, I know we went into a build after that, and there was still like oh, I don't want to gain weight. I'm not used to this scale thing. Like, I don't like the number going up. So we stopped looking at the number, and that was a real transition and process for me. It was learning how to be able to be okay with, like, you have to gain a little weight to gain muscle and build. And I knew that I wanted to do another competition. And one of the things that Lexie and I talked about was you need to work on building more muscle in order to be able to get on a competitive stage. And so I embraced that, as hard as that was, and was able to, do that build. And then that was another year. And then sort of this last November, we went into prep again, and I did a competition with the WCBB in Ottawa. And I got the sparkly bikini. So that was like the big deal, nice. Right? So that was it. And still in the process of working towards that. Right. So made it through. I think the hardest part of all of this, and the benefit of having a coach, is getting through the tough stuff, because definitely going into prep is really like, you get that heightened dopamine rush and you're working towards something, and like 2 hours of cardio does not feel like a lot, and you can just do it, and you just go, and you got the drive and the goal, and you just work. And then the stop was very difficult. So just having like that crash happens, but having that coach there that I could just say, hey, I'm struggling. Can you help me? And she'd be like, yeah, let's get on a call. Let's talk. What's up? What do you need from me? And that for me is the best part about having a coach, is somebody who's going to be there for you regardless of like what's happening, and is going to be able to help you through it, and is going to be able to, not handhold you, like by any means, like I don't get handhold, and that's okay. But, just hold you up when you need to be held up. And like, I always say, she's the person that can like hold me up when I need holding, but also like give me that good when I need to like work. Like, you can do better, Nicole. I know you've got this. Get going. And it's that balance that I appreciate most about having a coach, and having Lexie as my coach, and having, and then on top of that, you add the community of Lady the F Up, and everybody, and the support, and the outreach, and the constant messages and conversation and connections that I've made through this last 3.5 years has been incredible. So, I mean, the community, the support, the actual, nutrition coaching, and along with, resistance training and learning how to build muscle, like I am seeing gains in muscle that I never thought possible. And every time I kind of see them, I'm like, that's not me. So it's really cool to be able to watch that transformation in your own self, and learn and grow from that. And if anything, like that's the biggest experience for me, not just the physical growth, but the mental growth, the emotional growth, the ability to have the confidence again that I lost a long time ago. That's what Lady the F does. Lady the F Up does for you. That's what Lexie did for me. That's what, that's what this whole community brings. So I think I'll stop there.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nicole. So, there's something you said, Nicole, that I want to just expand on and stack on. You talked about that when you felt like you were struggling, you could just pick up the phone and send Lexie a message, and she'd jump on a phone call with you, and she'd give you what you needed. When I was growing up, I was very fortunate in that I had an exceptional father and mother, but my dad especially was somebody who had a profound impact on me and my life. And he would always tell me from the time I was a little kid, remember, son, life is about people, not about money or, accolades. It's about people. And I said, okay, Dad. Mm-hmm. And then he'd say, remember, even business is about people. It's not about money. And I was 8 years old when I first heard that. And I go, Dad, what are you talking about? Of course, business is about money. Without money, you can't have any business, right? And he goes, that's true, son. But without people, there's no need for money. And he said that every human being out there needs somebody to believe in them. I need that. You need that. Lexie needs that. All the other ladies here need that. And if you really see the greatness in somebody, then you can move them out of whatever self-doubt that they have. You can take that little spark of belief, and that spark of belief will turn their own inner self-doubt into powerful self-belief. It'll become a roaring fire of self-belief, and they can live a life less ordinary. And one of the things that I love about the Hammer Fitness family, from Amber on on down, everybody has that strong level of belief in their fellow woman and their fellow man. And that seems to be what all of you ladies are saying. It's the common thread that I see going through the conversations that you're all having.
When we coach women, there's going to be weeks where things aren't perfect, and there are going to be things where life happens. But if someone reaches out saying, I need help, that is a sign to us that they want to continue to be better. Asking for help is a sign of strength. It's not a sign of weakness. Not the, let me figure this out on my own. It is saying, hey, I'm in this brand new situation that I don't know how to navigate, and I need expertise, and I need someone who has experience to get me through this so I can develop my own experience in this situation that I can apply moving forward. But when you show up, when you check in, even if it was a shitty week and you didn't do anything, showing up and checking in and saying, hey, I'm here, is a sign to us that you want to be better. Even if the last week wasn't good, it's the, okay, I own it, I'm accepting it. How do we move forward from this? And that is something that so many women kind of fail to understand until they've been with us for the long term. If they have signed up for 4 or 8 or 12 weeks, it's that I want immediate results kind of thing. I can figure this out in that time. But these 4 women here are proof that you need to be in this for a lifetime. And it's not the first couple of weeks or even the first couple of months that are going to teach you the lessons that you carry on for the rest of your life. It's that year, 2 years, in Nicole's case, 4 years. And the growth that I have seen, because I can only speak to working with Nicole personally, the growth I've seen in her in this time has been incredible. She prioritizes herself. She has so much more emotional awareness about what's going on in her body, what she needs, how to shift her nervous system into a state of continuing or communicating, hey, Lexie, there's a lot going on. We need to pull back. So that level of awareness and self-understanding comes through, yes, the guidance and the belief that we have in these women, but also their ability to step up and say, I need help, I can't do this, and really forming that like partnership relationship with the coach.
Yeah, the relationship's important, 100%. I want to just step back, though, into macro principles, right? Because people listening to this, they're going to go, this sounds great. They're probably going to, a bunch of them are going to reach out to you, which is fantastic. But I want them to understand the macro principles of why your company is so good at producing the results for people. And number one is you believe in people, you care about people. And that isn't always the case with all coaches. I've hired a lot of coaches, not just for health and fitness, for a whole bunch of other things. They were super happy to take my money. They weren't necessarily there after they took my money to guide me through any bumps in the road. And I think that's part of what makes you special. I'd love to hear from some of the other ladies. Has that been your experience? Could you speak to it personally? Anyone want to jump in, please feel free to do so.
Well, I'll speak from my experience, Nikki. That's exactly, as I said, right? If I think about my journey and what has occurred during the course of that journey, this idea I mentioned, like this resistance I had, look, at the end of the day, Mel on me. Even when I was giving her a really hard time, like I have to be very honest when I think back at how I started and what my expectations were, and I'll put in the work, right? I'll put in the work. She really was patient. She really understood me, so really got to know me. I mean, I always talk about things like points of leverage, like understanding the people that you're working with. She understood me. She understood what I needed, when I needed it. She understood how to push. And look, when I needed that, what we call it, whatever it is, tough love, or just, I remember I sent, Lee, what do you want to look like? Oh, I sent her a picture. Now, this is what I want to look like. And at one point, I remember her turning to me, and I won't forget it, because it'd probably be what I'd say to my own children. You know, are you going to be happy when you look like that? It's not about that end result. It's not about that. It's about what's happening during the process. Like when we hear, right, it's the process, it truly, truly is the process. So I would say, and now when I think about how our coaching, like our coaching relationship, client relationship is now, it's so different. Like Malvina has me doing, Lexie, you know this. I don't know how many of you have done this, but if anybody told me at 58 years of age I'm going to be doing this German volume training, this is crazy.
Oh, good. Yes.
But I'm all over it. And all she said is, this is what we're going to do. And I said, well, what is it? And she said, what are you going to do? 10 reps, 10 sets. I'm like, I still know how to do math. That's 100. She's like, yep. And this is how we're going to do it. I didn't. Okay. I know why we're doing it. It has a purpose. And I just do it. And yeah, not every week's great. This morning I felt like shit. I don't think I had a very good workout, but I showed up and I did it.
That's a technical term, right?
Yeah. But, you know, it's really like the quality of the relationship that I have with Malvina. I got to show up. I got to put in the work. Like, it's on us to do that, right? We're not going to see what we want to see down the road or through the process if we don't do that work. But there is no doubt. And like Leslie, I have had multiple trainers for multiple years. I have never had the results I have had with this organization, with Lady the F Up, and certainly, you know, with Mal. So I think a lot of it is, and maybe that's what's so special about the coaches in this community, they know you. They really get to know you. So
they know you and they care. They care enough to.
They care about you.
Because I really think, you know, in the world of coaching, of providing services to other people, that is, I think, the secret sauce. Like, yeah, the knowledge is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. It's excellent knowledge. There's lots of people with great knowledge out there. These guys have great knowledge, fantastic. But they have great knowledge and they also want to see you win. And I think that's what's important. For me, that's what I look for. That's what I provide inside my business coaching to people. Is I call myself a professional believer in people. And I think the Lady the F Up coaches are all professional believers in people as well. So I'd love to hear some of you other ladies take on this subject of caring and belief and how that's impacted you, if you'd like to share.
Sure, I'll go. So like I mentioned before, I did have nutrition coaches in the past, twice before I found Lady the F Up, and both times it was just general. You fill in a questionnaire. It's generic questions that everyone asks, height, weight, age, and then they just shoot out a random number and you're supposed to follow that. But again, I saw little to no results. Feedback was non-existent. And then when I found Lady the F Up, it's been nothing but the great results because, again, they do care. They check up. They get to know you. And the community is fantastic. I like to see when they post other people's transformations. I get more excited for them than I do myself. And the community is great. And I cannot speak anything but good about my journey with them. So if anyone ever asks me, I will hands down recommend them.
That's awesome. Yeah, so let's talk about community, because I think community matters. Who's around you matters, and matters a great deal. And you, Leslie, and others have talked about community. Talk to me about what that has meant for you in your journey. Why has the community been important for you? How has it added rocket fuel to your success, to to your results? Lexie, why don't you go ahead first?
I think it's if you're having a bad day, or like Lee said, if you're having a garbage workout and you don't think that you did the best that you could, you realize that there is a community and everybody's going to have those days. So you see them do it, but then you see the next day they're back on their A game. So it gives you that little boost and it makes you want to, okay, so I had a bad day. So what? The next day you're going to get up and you're going to try again, and it's going to be better than your last one, because you're seeing other people in the same situation trying to do the same thing, go down the same road, kind of get the same results where they want to be healthy and be in the best shape of their life. And you're watching them do it. So you're like, if they can do it, why can't I? So it gives you that boost. I think that's what's the most important. That helps a lot.
Absolutely. 100%. Brittany,
Can I add to
wanted
that?
to get in there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that and just say the community, I have an interesting take on it. There's the community and there's different forums. There's the Facebook group, there's the Mighty app. There's, some communities when you're in the challenges within the Lady the F Up app application. And the support is there when you're having a bad day. You can reach out to your coach. They have a program where they set you up. You can be somebody's best friend as well. I've done that a couple of times, and that's always been very helpful. But I found probably a year into my journey, I was so inspired with the community that I was now a part of. I started to do an internal assessment of my community, at home and my friends. And I started to see things differently. I had some friends that were more on the negative side of things, and I found my tolerance to be much less for those types of discussions in those relationships.
Absolutely, I get that.
And I started making some big changes with respect to who I surrounded myself and my family with. And I owe a lot of that internal reflection to the Lady the F Up community, because everyone is so positive and supportive, and it's genuine. It's not disingenuine. And so because of that, it makes, I think, most people look at their life a bit differently. And make some changes there as well.
Awesome. Nicole, you wanted to chime in as well, I saw.
Yeah, I was just resonating with what Lexie was saying too, about how when you see somebody doing well and then when you're not in the mood, and I don't know how many times I've, been sitting, and I've made some really close friendships through Lady the F Up, which is really nice too. And I know there's been sometimes when I'm sitting and it's 8 o'clock at night and I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym. It's the last thing I want. I've worked hard all day, one of those kind of mental just exhaustions. Right. And then I go online and I see my friend there, and she's like, I'm at the gym. And I knew she was struggling to get there, but she got there. So I'm like, all right, I'm up, I'm going. And then I'm up and I'm out the door and I'm to the gym. Right. So I think the whole community in and of itself reminds you what we're all in this for, what we're doing this for, why we're it's a part of taking care of ourselves. It's yes, you're tired. Yes, it's easy to sit on the couch, but you know what? If everybody else is out there doing it, I darn well should be doing it too, right? So that's always, I find, a really good motivator. And Brittany, when you were talking about community and reevaluating your own community within, and I recognize that I have done, without even actually, when you were saying it, I was like, I think I've done that. I feel like I have shifted who I surround myself with like-minded people. I run my own practice and I coach part-time at my local gym. Right. And one of my close friends is the gym owner, and the people that I'm really becoming close friends with are the people that they have the same values, beliefs, work ethic. The whole going to the gym becomes a community in and of itself. So just doing that, I think it just started from one, I want to take care of myself. I want to do better. I want to work out. I want to learn how to eat properly. It starts with one little phone call or one message or one email, and it snowballs into this huge thing. And I think that is just so cool that the community that Lady the F Up has created then expands out into all sorts of places. I know people are Nicole, tell me about Lady the F Up. Is it good? I'm like, yeah, you have to ask, right? And you know, so it just becomes so much more than just you as an individual. It becomes like it just becomes everybody in a community. And I just love that about it.
And looking at all of these women on the screen right now, like you guys are hours apart. If you were to drive to each other's houses, I think some of you are like 8 to 10 hours apart minimum right now. And the fact that all of this happens online. And that's what I love about social media and technology is it allows us to connect with each other. There's a whole bunch of negative stuff about social media, but being able to step into this space and create an online virtual community where these women, I don't think have ever met each other in person, maybe at like a dinner or a gala or something like that, where they were in the same room, but they haven't actually met each other before. And being able to do this with women, not just in Canada or North America, but around the world, and establishing those relationships and realizing, hey, I am worth my time, my energy, my investments in myself. My circle matters. So I'm going to cut off the people that have that victim mindset because they mentally drain me. This community and the women that I'm surrounded with, they teach me what it's like to have quality friendships and quality relationships. And it makes you reevaluate your inner circle so that it's not just you're getting leaner and you know how to eat and you know how to train, but your entire life changes because you change as a person.
You know, I really like what you just said, Lexie. It's very much on point. And I plucked a phrase out of what you just said, and it was, my circle matters. I think I'm going to make that the title of this episode, Why Your Circle Matters. Because it's true, your circle does matter. It matters a great deal. And I want to make a statement and then ask you ladies to comment on that. I believe that men need men-only circles and communities that they're a part of. There's something unique and awesome for men. And I think women need women-only circles and communities that they're a part of because there's something unique and amazing that you get that you can only get inside of a community of other like-minded, supportive women. And I want to just get your comments on that. I'd like to hear from everybody, if you don't mind. What are your thoughts on that? Who'd like to go first?
I
Yeah,
can
go for
first.
it, Brittany. Go ahead.
So I do agree. I agree with that. My husband and I are the best of friends. And, you know, we've tried working out together multiple times, and I just cannot work out with him. If we're just two different styles, that's an example I can give. You know, even when we talk about nutrition, he just sees it differently than I do, and so I definitely benefit from being able to speak to a community of women who have either been through the same thing or are going through the same thing. We have different hormones. We have different life experiences. My husband will never have to carry a baby or deliver one, and so those things matter. Those things matter, and there's different effects on different bodies because of those things, and it's really important to be able to talk to women who can relate, can give advice that is sound advice. And so, yes, I agree with the statements that you made.
Wonderful. Thank you. Great. Who'd like to go next? Go ahead.
I agree with you as well. I think too, I don't know, maybe it's my gender. I'm like 50. So I feel like there was such a period of time where, there was this sort of media representation about, you know, women bringing each other down and tearing each other apart and not being kind to each other. And I think what I've seen is like, and that might still exist on certain levels, I don't know. But what I see with women supporting women is a whole like movement in and of itself, right? And that, you know, lift each other up. I'm always of like lift people up, like so that, you know, everybody can succeed, celebrate everybody's successes. You know, the comparison, I think, you know, I remember being a teenager and being like, I want to look like her, and why can't I look like that? And oh, that's not fair that she has it. And so finding that now it's like celebrating everybody's successes and lifting everybody up. And, so is that women supporting women. We do get each other. We do understand each other. We do go through the same physiological changes. We go through all of those things. So I think it's very valid in that sense. Like Brittany, my husband's my best friend. We've been married 27 years. He is my person, but it's also nice to have a core group of women who I can go to and talk to about stuff that he kind of might look at me like, okay, I understand, but I don't, right? So just having, I understand, but I really don't, but I'm going to tell you I understand because I want to support you, right? Like that kind of conversation. Whereas talking to other women who have been through similar things, there is that bond and that connection because they have been through it. So yeah, I definitely think that statement's pretty valid.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nicole. Leslie, what are your thoughts?
I would say the same thing. I think it's very important for women to have a support group of women and for men to be able to go and have their group with men because, again, I love my husband very much, but he can't relate to certain things that I'm going through, and I do not relate to certain things that he's going through. That's just not how it is. So I'm very fortunate that I do have a small group of friends who I've had for pretty much my whole life. And we all support each other. We've all been through thick and thin together, and their support means the world to me. And again, my husband's not going to understand certain things, so I have to take it to my friends who can relate. So I would agree that women need their girlfriends and men need their men time. It's important.
Wonderful. Thank you. And Lee, what about yourself?
Well, again, I'm aging myself, but I grew up in the era where women did not support women. And that's just a fact. I've experienced it. I've seen it. And I'm in business, and I'm in an executive level of business, and I have seen this throughout my entire career. So to be frank, I've made it a mission to do whatever I can to support other women, especially professionally. And what I have seen within this community and why I think it's so important, it is about women supporting, but building each other up. You said that, Lexie, so eloquently during the gala, your speech. And you know what? I feel like it is our responsibility as women, and certainly me as maybe an older woman, to make sure that we do that, to pay that forward. Even if we didn't experience it ourselves, that does not mean that we need to have the next generation of women or women within, our own lives experience that. There's no need for it. Women, I don't know why we did it. We did it. We aren't doing it to the same degree anymore. And certainly, I think what I have, again, realized through this community, it's like-minded. So I don't have anyone in my circle of friends who understand at all what I do. Like, what are you doing? You go to the gym 6 times a week. You're up at an ungodly hour because if I don't get it done in the morning, it doesn't get done. But then I can see all of these women. I can see women within the community striving, growing, accomplishing, progressing. And I don't know, I have a real affinity to watching that happen and to being part of that, because I don't have that ability. Nicole, watching you, I told you, like the complete inspiration to me. I watched Nicole. I watched her. And I just find this, again, it's joyful And it gives me a lot of energy. And as far as I'm concerned, wherever I can support other women, whether it's in this community or outside, that's my responsibility to do it. I never want anybody to feel the way I felt growing up, because women did not support other women.
Amen. Amen. Beautifully put. Beautifully put. So, ladies, as we're coming to the end of our time together, I want to ask each of you for what I call your expert action step. This is your best piece of advice to people listening to this episode that'll help them take their life, their health, their self-concept to the next level. But I want you to do it in the form of a bullet point. So no like long preamble, just cut straight to the heart of it. So I'm just gonna like call you out by name, come up with this expert action step, and then share it powerfully with us, okay? So let's start with fabulous Brittany.
Okay. Expert advice. Okay. You're capable more. You're capable of more than you think you are. And trust the process.
I love it. You're capable of more than you think you are, and trust the process. That's a good one. I'm going to write that down. All right. Awesome. Lee, what about you?
Show up for yourself every day.
That's good too. I like it. Awesome. Thank you. Leslie, what about you?
So mine is going to be you get to, because you don't have to do anything. Once you start saying you get to, changes everything. So that's going to be mine.
You get to. That's amazing. I love it. Awesome. Nicole.
Y'all took mine. No, just kidding. Do it even when you don't want to.
Yeah, that's really good. Do it even when you don't want to. Okay. And Lexie, what about you?
Lady the fuck up.
God bless you, Lexie. Well done. Beautifully done. Beautifully said, and great branding. So, ladies, I want to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to be here with us and to share your experiences, your wisdom, your knowledge. I really appreciate what you had to say in terms of your own personal journey, in terms of wanting to inspire other women, and in terms of your generous hearts, because that's a hallmark of the Hammer Fitness community. Is everybody's generous. Everybody wants everyone that comes in to the community to win. That has blown me away, because that's the way that I seek to build the communities that I'm in charge of. And it's wonderful to be a part of a community that does that too. It just makes me feel very wanted, very accepted, and very happy to be here. And this episode's going to come out in a few weeks. I'll send Lexie all the details. She'll send them to you as well. We'll make sure that there are clips of each of you and what you have to say. So we'll have a little clip that you can use and share as you see fit. And honestly, this was awesome. I'd love to have you back. I'd love to expand on the conversation at some point. And I really think one of the things you said that really touched me, and a number of you said it in different ways, is that you believe that men and women need spaces that are unique to them, because men don't really fully understand everything a woman's going through, and women don't fully understand everything a man's going through. And I have a men's podcast where we talk about men's issues, and I'm thinking a panel of women talking about that specifically would be a fascinating conversation. So if you're ever up for something like that, I'd love to have you be a part of something like that as well. But God bless you. Thank you so much for coming here. This was an awesome experience for me, and I'm looking forward to the episode coming out. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Good to meet you virtually.
Good to meet everybody virtually. All right, and I'm going to do my finish second, so stick around for that. And that wraps up another exciting, amazing episode of the podcast, The Thought Leader Revolution. To find out about today's amazing guest, go check out the show notes at thethoughtleaderrevolution.com. If you want to get in touch with Lady the F Up, all that information is going to be there as well. If you enjoyed this episode and you have a friend who you think would benefit from this or benefit from knowing about an amazing community of women like this, then make sure that you share this episode with them. Until next time, goodbye.
This episode has been brought to you by eCircleAcademy.com, the proven system to add 6 to 7 figures a year to your thought leader practice.